Hamill, and Leroy Lewis.
This match is going to be fast and furious. Here it is, elimination style.
And you just heard the rules. It's one opponent. You know, you have some elimination matches where both guys have to be pinned to be eliminated. Yep. Not here.
Single elimination for the entire team.
And this is going to go down until we've got 2 teams remaining, of course, and then the winning fall from that takes home this 4 corners tag team match tonight here in Rossville, Georgia.
Looks like Lamar Phillips and Chris Ganz are going to start things out for their respective teams.
Lamar Phillips and Chris Ganz, if you remember the last time we were here, wrestled as part of that best-of-5 series. They extended a match over here from Empire.
That's right.
And if you remember, it was a match that involved the use of snack cakes.
Yes, I do.
As weapons. It was a great match. So these two have...
From what I heard, they raided Jason Hampton's gear bag.
Yeah. These two have wrestled each other numerous times before and going to wrestle each other now in a tag team environment.
There's definitely no love lost between them, that's for sure. They can't stand each other.
And, you know, if there's anybody, I mean, you only got 2 teams in this match that are regular teams together. You got the Wild Stallions on one end.
And the
Corey Coxx making his debut. You know, he's excited. He's confident. Maybe a little bit nervous,
ready.
But you know the nerves have subsided, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Once he burst through that curtain to the thunderous applause here in the Rossville Rec Center. The movement, Chip Hazard and Talon Williams, 2 former AIWF tag team champions.
Exactly.
Defended those titles all over the South.
And, you know, another good point I want to make, and I just remembered this, Lucas, so bear with me.
Okay.
The best-of-5 series between Lamar Phillips and Chris Ganz is really where we saw the debut of that new devastating submission hold that Lamar Phillips has been using and has become obsessed with mastering, that crossface chicken wing.
Yeah, and like you talked about, over at Empire, he's been using that. And really, that's about the only thing he has in common with his tag team partner, Dyron Flynn.
Exactly.
And now Ganz tags as he flips Lamar
and
over.
Here
and now
comes the wild child, Corey Coxx.
Corey Coxx,
the second rope
first
with a
time
big
in the ring
kick.
in more than a year, and a beautiful drop kick now with a pin attempt by Corey Coxx. 1, 2, kick out by Lamar Phillips. Leroy
Coxx.
and Keith both drop off the apron. Drop kick again to Lamar Phillips.
Corey Coxx right back up. I don't see any kind of ring rust here. I told you, he's put on a few pounds, but he is not out of shape. He's been training for this. Another big
like
drop
I said,
kick.
I mean, you know, you're going to go through some changes when you go from active full-time wrestler to semi-retired or retired.
Exactly.
And so it's understandable, but he has not lost any of his old self, and it's good to see him back in the ring.
Yes, it is.
These fans love him.
Double team move here.
Drop toe hold by Corey Coxx and Chris Ganz with a drop kick. Now cover attempt by Chris Ganz, excuse me. Man, I am all over the place tonight as Lamar tries to tag in T-Bone.
So are the Wild Stallions. They're all over the place too, Lucas. That's a good thing.
Well, I mean, you remember their T-shirts.
Yeah,
they had the tour. They were everywhere.
That's
I don't know if some of those towns on the T-shirt were real.
I heard they had to shorten the list too. It was gonna be long sleeves with a hood. Some
that
of
would have
the
been the
names
long
of the
form
cities
T-shirt. They could have just used a smaller typeface.
I think so.
As now the Wild Stallions are off on the apron for a bit of a breather, and now it's Leroy Lewis and T-Bone squaring off.
I think these have got to be the 2 toughest men in the match here. T-Bone and the Irish Hammer. They don't come much tougher.
I don't know. We talked earlier about the accomplishments, the accolades of the movement, Chip Hazard and Talon Williams, and, you know, they are one of the toughest, one of the best tag teams in the southeastern United States.
Oh, I'll definitely agree with that, but I think when it comes to attitude and just plain nastiness, I think T-Bone's got it.
Well, it doesn't get any tougher than the Irish.
By a hair.
But it doesn't. You don't get any more tougher than the Irish. You don't.
This is true. Now, you've got the Irish Hammer, and you've got his accompanier to the ring, who is Scottish. You know what they argue about, don't you?
Now, what do they argue about?
Well, they argue because one of them wants to drink and the other one's too cheap to pay for
it. Get the drum kit out for that one. Spine buster.
Big spine buster by Leroy
That
Lewis.
shook the ring.
Tags in Talon Williams.
That's how Octavius Black died yesterday.
Oh, really?
That noise that you heard.
Double team maneuver there by the movement. Chip Hazard and Talon Williams. Chip now in the ring. And again, these two come from EWA, the Elite Wrestling Alliance in Chattanooga. Like I talked a moment ago, you're very familiar with that promotion, very familiar with these two.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Chip Hazard and Talon Williams, some of the things they've been able to do?
Actually, the most recent news would have to be Talon Williams returning from his severe knee injury. Just 3 weeks ago, he returned. And that was as a result of the Youngbloods' attack on them from behind,
right?
In their battle for the EWA tag team titles, which last night I did mention that they had a hard-fought match with the Youngbloods, and it was for the EWA tag team titles. And needless to say, you don't see the movement with those titles here tonight. The Youngbloods did pick up the victory and carried those titles home with them.
But that doesn't take away from the strength, the power of this tag team is now they're on the apron. And we can shift our focus for a moment over to Keith Hamill, who brings a knee to the back of T-Bone. Keith Hamill, the former Empire Heavyweight Champion.
Absolutely.
Current Empire Tag Team Champion, reunited with his brother earlier this year, won those tag team titles.
And he actually just returned this year from injury as well, the Chunky Dragon did, from that broken hand that he suffered as was a result of the Devil's Rejects. Is that right?
Absolutely.
In the War
as
Games last year.
Leroy Lewis whipped into the ropes, and another.
T-Bone takes him down hard. Leroy Lewis kicks
another
out
what?
at 2.
I don't know. I completely blanked out. I'm all over the place tonight. But it's okay. It's okay. As T-Bone is sending Leroy into the ropes, and Lamar Phillips comes in.
The best of the best.
Lamar
the
Phillips.
Best ever.
You talked about becoming obsessed with perfecting that cross-face chicken wing. And
here comes Chris Ganz.
He's also become obsessed with that
spine
tag
buster.
team championship as Lamar puts the spine buster on Ganz. Ganz goes down. Corey Coxx pounding the mat either in frustration or in support.
Trying to get the fans behind his
partner. Lamar with a suplex over into a cover now. Sal with a count. 1, 2, and the Wild Stallions save themselves from elimination. For now, boy, how would you hate to come back only to be eliminated after just a few moments?
That would be devastating.
It really would. And Corey Coxx, right up in Big Sal's ear. Right up in Big Sal's ear. He's excited. He's pumped about being back. You can tell.
He's ready. He gets in that ring, the roof is going to go off this place.
And you know, really the most shocking thing about the change in appearance of Corey Coxx is a crossbody. Landed by Ganz. I talked about the most interesting thing about the change in Corey Cox's appearance is the facial hair.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen him with that much facial hair ever.
Or hair, period.
Well, that too, yeah.
He always did keep it a lot shorter, at least 3 or 4 inches shorter.
As you just saw Chris Ganz land that crossbody on Lamar Phillips, now he tags in Talon Williams.
Stiff tag. That was not a friendly tag at all. That may come back to haunt them later in the match.
And now Talon tags in his partner, Chip Hazard. And now T-Bone into the ropes. Double team maneuver here.
Big double clothesline.
Cover now by Chip. 1, 2. Rope break.
T-Bone grabs the hand of Big Sal Haney.
Looked like a
He
rope
stopped
break.
the count himself. T-Bone's not ready to give it up yet.
I don't even know if that's legal.
It stops the count.
Well, yeah, but
That's all that matters.
and now Lamar with a fist to the head of Chip Hazard.
Chip Hazard is in the wrong side of town here.
And now T-Bone in control of Chip Hazard. Chip's in trouble.
Lamar Phillips grabbing him by the throat. Talon Williams comes over and makes the save, slamming the head of Lamar Phillips into that steel ring post. Talon Williams reverses, tags in Leroy Lewis again, who goes in to face T-Bone.
Leroy Lewis with a big
Hits
body
him up
slam.
with a beautiful slam.
1, 2. And now Lamar Phillips pulls Big Sal's foot.
Breaks up the pin.
Again, the referee, the anti-referee hijinks continue
On all
in this
sides,
match.
it looks like.
Poor Big Sal as neck breaker by T-Bone. Neck breaker by T-Bone. Both men are down. Leroy Lewis trying to get back up.
Now, you got to think someone like Leroy Lewis in this kind of a match, especially an elimination match, can't last very long.
And now Leroy's got T-Bone up.
Death Valley
Death
Driver.
Valley Driver.
That's got to be it for T-Bone. He's got to pin him, though. He tags in the Chunky Dragon. He's looking for that big cross body.
Oh, Chunky Dragon going high risk.
He hits this. It's over.
Flying crossbody
And
as
he
down goes
nailed him.
T-Bone. Lamar tries to get in.
Oh, no.
Lamar rolls up. Chunky 1, 2, 3. Chunky and Leroy are eliminated.
Lewis have been eliminated.
And now Leroy Lewis is set to face Sadness.
Chip
He hasn't
Hazard
seen Leroy Lewis set
grabs
to face.
him.
Leroy
The
Lewis is
movement. That's it. Double pin.
double pin. 1, 2, 3, and Lamar's out. I was gonna
Lamar
say.
and T-Bone have been eliminated.
I was gonna say Leroy Lewis is feeling a sadness not felt since the potato famine.
Exactly.
As now double pin attempt here. 1, 2 by the Wild Stallions. A little bit of a dance there, and they both roll their partners
Double
up.
roll up.
Again, 1. Nope.
They're in the ropes.
So Leroy and Keith go to the back. Lamar Phillips looks to be retiring himself from this match as well after being pinned.
Ooh, and Talon Williams hangs up Chris Ganz big
So two teams
time.
eliminated and within about 30 seconds of each other. So now this is down to a team-on-team contest next fall.
2-on-1
It's the
right
match, it's the
now.
movement, and the Wild Stallions is a
Chip
cover
Hazard
attempt
with
now.
the pin.
1, 2, kick out.
Kick out by
And
Chris
how appropriate
Ganz.
is it that this match comes down to the two teams that are, well,
Real
with all
tag
intents and
teams.
purposes, yes, tag teams that work with each other week in and week out, or in the Wild Stallions case, a tag team that worked together for so long, they know each other, they work well together,
Like
and
the book.
they've wrestled, worked alongside the movement for years. They know them personally. They've wrestled them,
Absolutely.
so they know. Both of these teams know each other. So from
Every
here on
move.
out, from here on till the end of the match, this should be good as Chris Ganz with a couple of elbows into the ribs of Talon Williams. Ganz ducks a clothesline, knee to the gut,
Oh,
and
he
Ganz
picks up a
spills to the
big
mat.
knee lift. Now, you did mention the Movement's tag team title history in EWA. What about the Wild Stallions and their accomplishments? What have they done?
Well, they've been former tag team champions in Empire. And they,
Absolutely.
sidewalk slam, now cover attempt again, 1, 2, and a kick out.
Looked like a fast count there from Sal Haney.
But aside from their success, the Wild Stallions have been one of the most popular tag teams. I can't tell you how many times fans have come up to me or you at Empire, and you know this, and they've asked, when's Corey Coxx coming back? When are the Wild Stallions coming back
Every
as a
show.
tag team? Every single
Every
week
show.
they want Corey Coxx back. And you're getting it tonight, they're getting it tonight.
Ganz doesn't put that to rest at all.
No.
And he still comes
no,
out
but he still comes out very
to the
proudly.
Wild Stallions theme
Still
music.
comes out very proudly with the Wild Stallions t-shirt as well.
Absolutely.
As Ganz fights out of that
Beautiful jawbreaker.
submission hold, but the jawbreaker now sunset
over
flip
the
attempts to
top,
cover.
looking-
Talon doesn't fall for it and lands on
And
Ganz.
he smashes down to the abdomen. That could be it.
Cover now 1-2. Big Sal with a
Ganz
2 count.
kicks out. Tags
Chip
in,
Hazard
Chip
gets
Hazard
tagged
now.
in. Double team maneuver here. What's it going to be?
Backbreaker.
Backbreaker into a...
Rolling neck breaker.
Oh!
Chip
Easily
Hazard
one of the
going
most
for
paralyzing
pin.
moves in tag team wrestling. Now cover
His
again,
foot's
but a
on the
rope
rope.
break.
The movements of veteran team, they should know better than to try and go for a pin that close to the ropes, especially with another veteran team like the Wild Stallions.
Hazard snapmares Ganz over, hits him with a clothesline, covers him again. Sal with the count, 1-2, and Ganz kicks
Kick
out.
Ganz almost kicked the head off of Sal Haney there. Ref's got to be careful.
Talon into the ropes, drives the foot into the gut of Chris Ganz. Ganz reaching just inches away from his partner, and Talon Williams rolls him right back over.
Veteran move. Absolutely.
Remember, Ganz hasn't wrestled regularly in a tag team in a while,
It's been a while.
at least in Empire Wrestling. He
That
wrestles
was
sporadically
back
with...
at the tag team title tournament we had last year.
He wrestles sporadically with Chris Lightning, as it looks like a possible superplex here.
From the
Talon
middle
Williams hooks
rope.
the arm of Chris Ganz over. Tries to pick him up. Ganz using his weight to stop it.
He's got a hold of that turnbuckle up there. A couple of chops to the midsection.
And, oh!
Inverted suplex by Chris Ganz. He's looking to
Now
fly.
here comes Ganz flying. Drop
Big
kick!
missile drop kick. Talon
Crowd
Williams.
comes alive as Chris Ganz hits a missile drop kick.
He's got to make a tag, though. And Corey Coxx out there on the apron reaching for the tag. This place is going to go crazy if he gets in.
Corey Coxx is in. Chip Hazard's
He
in.
hits that elbow.
Second
Hits another
elbow.
one. Big elbow.
Hazard goes down.
And
Elbow
another
to the
one.
head of Talon Williams.
Oh, and a big punch.
Corey Coxx back in the ring, back in this match. His return. Could it be triumphant as he hits a fist to the face of Chip Hazard? Forearms and fist. Now here we go. Irish whip countered by Chip Hazard. Coxx into the corner. And
Oh, and he eats the
Corey
boot.
puts a boot up.
Oh, and a Superman punch.
And down goes Chip
He's going
Hazard.
for the
Coxx with a
pin.
cover. One, and
Two, and
Talon breaks
Williams
it up.
breaks up the pin, landing right on top of Sal Haney.
Corey Coxx in the ropes now, puts
He
a boot
eats
up.
a boot.
Oh!
Face buster. Back cracker.
Oh, man. Now Corey
He's going
Coxx
for
with a
the
cover.
pin.
Could this be it? 1, 2, 3!
And that's
Wild
3.
Stallions pick up the win.
And the Wild
Corey
Stallions are
Coxx.
successful in their return match.
And so in his return, his first match back, one night only, Corey Coxx is able to pick up the pinfall for the Wild Stallions, who take home this Four Corners tag team match against probably some of the stiffest competition they could have faced in the end.
Absolutely.
The Movement.